bass pickup, then the middle pickup is... Now, on these 3 pickup guitars, I can't stand the sound of the middle pickup. I've never liked it, but I like this one. This sounds, it's got a quack to it that's kind of cool, right? And that treble pickup... Most people on these 3 pickup guitars, what they'll do is they'll change the treble pickup because it sounds like an ice pick, and this doesn't sound like an ice pick to me. What's not known is all 3 of these pickups are the same pickup. We didn't wind different winds for each position. We did it all. We did them all exactly the same, and to me, that's a beautiful sound. Now, for John, it's this sound. A lot of the Texas guys. And we made these 2 positions hum canceling. So 3 of them are hum canceling and 2 of them are hum canceling and 3 of them are not now. It turns out that the reason a lot of these rock stars played the ones that were made in '63 and '64 is because the pickups had better signal-to-noise ratio. They were actually louder. When you played the guitar was louder than the hum. And very often with these single coil pickups, the hum is louder than the guitar, which I'm sure a lot of you have experienced. But I don't hear a lot of hum. So getting the signal-noise ratio took us a couple of years to figure out. And he wanted a guitar that he didn't have a model that went... he wanted a guitar that wasn't just a model with his name on it. He wanted to put his old ones away and not pine away for the old ones. That's what he wanted. And it was really an interesting journey to get there. And in order to do it, we had to retool everything. So let me go through what we retooled, okay? We retooled these tuning pegs. It's our version of the locking pegs with nickel-plated locks instead of the black ones. And we retooled the plastic button, and we had these things 3 on the side done, and we changed the headstock shape so that when he did this, it felt exactly the same. We went through 12, 13, 14 different headstock shapes and hired some of the best people in the world that were industrial designers to try to get it to be 6 on the side, and no matter what we did, we failed. And this one seems to work beautifully. The other thing that I wanted was, on a lot of these 3 pickup guitars, the high E string and the high B string have to go through a string tree to have enough angle over the nut to work, and I wanted it that all the strings were the same angle. On a telly, if you notice, the low strings have more angle, then as you go up, it's less and less angle, and it changes the tone of the guitar, and to me that wasn't acceptable. I wanted them to all be the same, and so we were able to get that all straightened out. This next thing was we used our PRS truss rod in it. Literally, sometimes on some of these old guitars, you have to take the neck off to adjust the truss rod, which is bush league, pain in the ass, not cool. It only works one way. If the neck's bowed backwards, you're dead in the water. This is a double action rod. And we put our rod in it and had it adjustable here. We also put a bone nut on it, and a lot of nuts these days aren't really glued in very well, and one of the things that they did in the old days in California when they made the vintage versions of these guitars is they had the nut completely soaked in DuPont Duco glue so that all the gaps were filled and everything was held in. And we found a glue that does that and crystallizes over time, and we're very pleased with that. Now, the only thing that welled me up, that got me emotional when we were doing this thing, was when I wrapped my hand around the neck, I went, well, that 63 neck hasn't been tooled up in 50 years. And this feels like an old one. And of all the reports that you watch on the internet, of all the beautifully leaked stuff that got leaked, and leaked, and leaked, and leaked, and then it got leaked some more. Was that the neck shape was something. Now, you've got, Rob, you've got one of these guitars, and you own a lot of these style guitars, and the neck shape for you is what? You like it? Well, first of all, either you like it or you hate it, yeah, or it's okay, or I wish you had it done a little bit different, or whatever.
It felt instantly playable to me.
Okay, good. So that's good. And then we put a 7¼ inch radius on there, and then the internet just started to beat the crap out of me because you play chords on a 7¼ inch radius, but you don't play solos, and that would mean that Machine Gun would sound like shit. And I just don't think it did. Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, I mean, all these people were playing on 7¼ inch radius, and it sounds fine to me, but the internet knows better than the guitar makers, which I find fascinating. One of the reasons they gave me, oh, you don't know. I'm told how to make guitars every day by somebody who's never done a refret. One of the reasons that people have given up on 7¼ inch radius is because if the frets aren't dead level, the strings will buzz out. When you stretch it up and the frets aren't level, you got yourself a problem. But I don't hear it buzzing out, and the action's really low on this guitar. So this entire get fried at the steak for having something that's curved, like I think my hand's kind of curved when I look at it. It's not like flat. Anyway, so we made a 7¼ inch radius, and it got it. And the reason we did it is when John played the guitar, it was very comfortable. You got to remember, he doesn't look down when he's playing. So when he's got the guitar on, it's got to